Every day, hundreds of millions of people place tiny transparent lenses onto their eyes. For most, it is an ordinary ritual, simple, invisible, routine. But behind that everyday miracle stood one remarkable man, a scientist working behind the Iron Curtain, an inventor denied recognition by his own government, a dreamer who built revolutionary machines from children's toys and bicycle parts. And his name was Otto Wichterle, and his invention changed the way humanity sees the world. Otto Wichterle was born on the 27th of October, 1913, in the town of Prostějov in Moravia, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He was born into a prosperous family connected to industry and manufacturing. From an early age, curiosity defined him. Chemistry fascinated him. Machines fascinated him. Possibility fascinated him. As a child, he preferred laboratories to classrooms. When he wanted to understand how materials behave, how substances transform, how science could improve human life, that belief would guide him for the rest of his life. Wichterle studied chemical engineering at the Czech Technical University in Prague. Europe, meanwhile, was moving toward catastrophe, economic instability, political extremism, the rise of fascism. Yet inside laboratories and lecture halls, scientific progress accelerated. Wichterle belonged to a generation of scientists who believed deeply in modernity and innovation. Science represented optimism, progress, a better future, but history would soon test those ideals. After Nazi Germany occupied Czechoslovakia in 1939, Czech universities were shut down. Many intellectuals were persecuted. Wichterle himself was arrested by the Gestapo. Though eventually released, the experience revealed how fragile freedom could become under authoritarian rule. After the Second World War, Czechoslovakia entered another political transformation. Communism took power. The nation's industries, universities, and research institutions came under state control. For scientists, opportunities expanded in some ways and narrowed in others. Wichterle became a leading expert in macromolecular chemistry, the science of polymers, plastics, synthetic fibers, flexible materials. The 20th century was becoming the age of polymers, and Otto Wichterle stood at the frontier. Wichterle was not merely an inventor. He was a visionary chemist who understood that synthetic materials could interact with the human body in entirely new ways. That insight was revolutionary. In the mid-20th century, contact lenses already existed, but they were rigid, uncomfortable, and difficult to wear. Many people simply could not tolerate them. Wichterle imagined something radically different, a lens soft enough to adapt naturally to the eye. Flexible, hydrated, almost invisible. Together with his colleague Drahoslav Lehm, Wichterle developed a new material, hydrogel, a soft polymer capable of absorbing water while remaining gentle to human tissue. And there was a breakthrough. But transforming the material into functional contact lenses proved enormously difficult. Many inventions fail in the transition from theory to manufacturing. Wichterle's genius was that he solved both the chemistry and the engineering. Then came one of the most famous moments in scientific history. In 1961, working at home during the Christmas holidays, Otto Wichterle assembled an improvised machine for producing soft contact lenses. He used a Merkur children's construction set, a bicycle dynamo, homemade components. The machine spun liquid polymer into perfectly shaped lenses. And it worked. The first modern soft contact lenses had been born. There is something almost poetic about it. One of the most important medical inventions of the 20th century emerging not from a giant corporation, but from a homemade machine built in a living room. Wichterle later tested the lenses on himself. The results were extraordinary: comfortable, functional, safe. Human vision had entered a new era. But invention alone does not guarantee recognition. Communist authorities often distrusted independent thinkers. Wichterle's relationship with the regime became increasingly tense, and he was respected internationally, but politically inconvenient domestically. That contradiction defined many intellectual lives in communist Eastern Europe. Patents connected to Wichterle's work were poorly managed by the state. Foreign companies eventually commercialized soft contact lenses on a massive scale. Billions of dollars would be generated worldwide. Yet Wichterle himself saw only a fraction of the financial rewards. Still, he remained committed to science rather than wealth. For him, discovery mattered more than prestige. In 1968, Czechoslovakia attempted to create so-called socialism with a human face. The Prague Spring promised political liberalization and intellectual freedom. Then Soviet tanks arrived. The movement was crushed. Wichterle openly criticized the regime. As punishment, he was removed from important academic positions. Research opportunities diminished. Travel restrictions increased. Yet he refused silence. For Wichterle, scientific freedom and political freedom were deeply connected. He believed creativity could not flourish under fear. Over the following decades, soft contact lenses transformed global medicine and daily life. Millions became hundreds of millions. The invention improved comfort, accessibility, and quality of vision for people across the planet. But it's difficult to overstate the impact. Soft contact lenses fundamentally changed ophthalmology and consumer eye care. Few inventions affect so many people so directly every single day, and yet many users never heard the inventor's name. Otto Wichterle became one of the rare figures whose work entered everyday life almost invisibly. In 1989, communist rule in Czechoslovakia collapsed during the Velvet Revolution. After decades of political repression, intellectual and scientific freedom returned. Otto Wichterle finally received broader recognition in his homeland when he became president of the Czechoslovak Academy of Sciences, a symbol not only of scientific achievement, but of integrity. Wichterle represented a powerful ideal that science should serve humanity, and that truth matters even under political pressure. Otto Wichterle changed human vision in more ways than one. He expanded what science could achieve, what creativity could overcome, what persistence could endure. Working through war, dictatorship, censorship, and isolation, he continued to invent, not for fame, not for fortune, but because he believed knowledge could improve the world. Today, every transparent lens carries part of his legacy, a quiet revolution resting directly upon the human eye. If you like this video, please consider to like it and subscribe to our channel, and it will help us to create more content like this. Thank you.